These are 3 steps you can use right now to end your loneliness and live a more fulfilling life. Number 1 is develop a vision. Number 2, invest in yourself. And number 3, stop being a nice guy. So by the end of this video, I'll have already gone more in depth of those 3 steps and what exactly I mean by each one of them. And you're going to have a better understanding how it is you're failing and where you're inadequate, and how you can just more quickly start building the life you've always wanted to build. So number 1, develop a vision. So what I mean by that exactly is you want to paint a very clear picture of how you imagine your life turning out in the next 5, 10, even 20 years into the future. Now, this seems like a very daunting task at first. I know it was for me. However, what helped me a lot was, first and foremost, just education. Like, education is extremely crucial in becoming a more mature adult in a society that's seeing an increase in fast-paced environments where every single day the world is demanding more and more fast-paced decision making on our end. And if you're not educated, if you're not knowledgeable and wise and have learned from a variety of sources that teach you which decision has more value over the next, then you're just going to be entering a realm of chaos and of confusion, and you're just going to be choosing whatever it is social media throws at your face immediately first thing in the morning, or what's going to be on your mind for like a whole week straight is like that one thing you saw on TikTok the other day. It's like you're just never going to make any progress in your life if you don't have a consistent, strong vision of where you want your life to be headed. Now, that could be getting married, having children, building a stable family one day. That could be making a very successful career if you stay at one company. Whatever it may be, just make sure it's very clear and it's predicated or built off of a strong set of principles, because this is going to be something I'm going to reiterate in many more videos, but right now especially, no matter what life path you choose, you always have to make sure that it's based on, if you want to ensure your long-term success with whatever vision you stick with in the long run, you must make sure that your principles are in check. Now, whether it be just wanting to learn as much as you can, wanting to build a particular skill, just, you know, only wanting to settle for a stable marriage one day, whatever it may be, just make sure that you have your principles in check. And if you don't know what they are, get to it right now. Do a little bit of soul searching, you know, do a little bit of digging in your own psyche and figure out exactly who you are and who you want to be, because that is the ultimate point in, and the best advice in how to build your vision is know who you want to be, because who you are right now is clearly insufficient. It is not sufficient. You are just simply not good enough. That's a bucket of ice cold water that we have to dunk on ourselves at first, but trust me, that, instead of being very like cynical and pessimistic, is actually very hopeful, because it basically says whatever you're doing right now simply isn't good enough, but there's more to you. You have potential. If you just simply tweak a couple of things, change a couple of behavioral patterns, remove some bad habits, add some good ones, God only knows what you're capable of achieving. So that's number 1. Number 2, invest in yourself. Now, this goes hand in hand with number 1. Investing yourself basically means investing in your self, like your self-perception. And again, going back to who you want to be, us human beings, a fascinating thing about why we're so special in a world full of multiple other creatures and animals and beings and whatnot, is that we're the only ones capable of truly having an abstract conception of ourselves. We don't just view ourselves as moment to moment whims that just want to satisfy our hunger or thirst or lust or desire for sleep or any of that. We actually can think about things that aren't exactly real yet in most cases, such as having a vision that isn't real, but in your mind it is. And if you have a very wise strategy in place, then it very much has a high likelihood of being real one day in the physical world. That's the fascinating thing about human beings and why we've advanced so much as a civilization, as a species, is that we're capable of thinking in the future about things that aren't exactly real. And why am I mentioning all of this and how it relates to investing in yourself? Well, in order to invest in yourself constantly, and I struggled with this a lot at first, you must know who you want to be. And how to discover who you want to be, you have to ask yourself another question is, what do you have to do every single day to become that version of yourself in the future that isn't quite real yet, but who you want to make real. And let's say, I don't know, something as random as I want to become a bodybuilder one day. You can't become a bodybuilder by just saying you want to be a bodybuilder. You have to, the vision is being a bodybuilder, but in order to become that bodybuilder, you must begin to invest in your whole being. You must invest in supplements, in gym memberships, in the discipline that comes from waking up every morning and going to the gym and working out for like 2 hours every single day. That's investing in yourself. And in order to combat your loneliness, what helped me a lot was finally understanding that the best thing you could ever do for yourself and your future self and everyone around you too. This is especially helpful if you want to get a partner one day. And this is something I'm continually trying to improve upon. And that is making yourself higher value. We see a lot of talk of, you know, I want a higher value woman, I want a high value man. But are you yourself a high value person? If you're single right now at this very moment, like I am, it may just be that whatever you've been doing these past few years just hasn't been working. And you're, again, going back to the whole realization that hurts. It's the hard truth that most of the time we are to blame for our failures and we're just simply not good enough. But we can become good enough, not only for the people we want to date, the people we love, but for ourselves. And to feel that sense of pride is by getting good at something, you know, getting good at a sport, getting good at learning about new things, getting good at having a lot of knowledge on a particular subject that makes you passionate. Anything, just investing your time, investing your mental health, investing your physical health, and all the other pieces of the puzzle will just naturally fall into place. I've seen this play out in my own life once I finally removed the bad habit of pornography addiction, which is a topic I'll get into in a different video in more in depth. But essentially, investing in yourself also means removing the things that are holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself. And I'll go into more depth about this in many other videos, but that's basically point number 2. And point number 3 is stop being such a nice guy, man. Now, I suffered this a lot growing up, being a recovering nice guy myself, where you may have a lot of social circles, you may associate with a lot of people a lot of the times, you may feel like people enjoy hanging around you, but you always have this nagging sense of loneliness. I don't know if many of you know exactly what I'm referring to, but if you're a quote-unquote nice guy, you basically spend all your time people-pleasing. You know, it's the same version of when a woman does it, but it's even worse as us men. When all you focus on is other people's perceptions, other people's opinions, other people's judgments of you, and you spend your whole time just trying to say the right things, never offending anybody, never letting your real masculine impulses come out, such as, you know, aggression or assertiveness, which can be bad things, as we've seen in narcissistic psychopathic behavior, but it can also be a great thing if you learn how to channel it and integrate it well into your personality. Being more assertive, learning how to assert your boundaries, learning when to say no, learning to speak the truth if you truly believe in your truth, regardless of how many people you offend by saying or doing what you have to do or say. Those are amazing masculine traits that can definitely help combat that sense of loneliness and of abandonment by society. You know what I mean? When you spend all your time just filling everyone else's cup, but you never really take the time to fill your own cup. And that is the most important thing to do. Invest in yourself. Stop being a nice guy. Stop people pleasing. Stop living for other people's opinions of you. Stop trying to buy a nice car just to impress. Stop trying to dress nice just to impress other people. Now, don't get me wrong. Dressing nice and owning nice things in and of itself is useless, but it can be helpful in demonstrating that you at least have the competency to attain those things. That if I have a nice car, if I have a nice jacket, or I have designer clothing, or if I live in a nice house or have a good job, it means that those things in and of themselves aren't what gives me value, but it's how I got them. It's the skills that I needed to learn. It's the person that I needed to become to get those things that gives me value. And that is my ultimate point, guys. If you remain a nice guy, if you remain not investing in yourself and not believing in yourself, if you never develop a vision of the future, don't develop a purpose, you will spend many years like I did, which is indulging in horrible addictions and habits that are basically the manifestation of your lack of faith in yourself and in your future, such as video game addiction, pornography addiction, drug addiction, marijuana addiction, and etc. Any other type of addiction, just binge watching Netflix and a couple of other things. So if you follow those 3 steps, I believe they will help you like they have helped me up until now. I'm nowhere near the ideal I'm trying to reach as a man. However, I believe the ones who are watching this video and myself, we're all on this journey of trying to maximize our potential and to surprising ourselves with what it is that we are capable of achieving in a world that seems to grow increasingly bitter and cynical and chaotic every single day. When we're bombarded on social media and on the internet and the world around us, it seems like the world it seems like the world is falling, but there is still hope. And I hope this message can help some of you who are struggling. If you haven't started on a journey of self-improvement, hopefully this video can give you some inspiration. And yeah, I'll go more in depth about all of these topics because I believe we are facing a meaning crisis in our world right now, especially in America, where as men especially, that we depend so much on meaning and purpose to dedicate ourselves to. We just don't have that nowadays because of a variety of factors that have been just playing out in our culture over the past few decades. And this has to stop. And I want to contribute to the voices that are trying to give us hope, because that is the main takeaway before I let y'all go, is don't lose hope in yourselves. Don't lose hope in the future. Believe that we can still accomplish something good in life. Believe that the Lord has a plan for you, that the universe has a plan for you, that you are not here just to treat yourself as a sack of dopamine, just waiting to be abused with every single day, just indulging in self-serving, hedonistic impulses every single day just for the sake of it. No, that is not what we were here to do. We were here to accomplish something truly incredible as a species and as men especially, okay? So thank you all for watching. I hope this video was able to help you. And yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to say. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. I want to hear your comments on what you think. What are some of the struggles you have faced in trying to develop your purpose and trying to fight the loneliness that is just eating away at young men nowadays, like it did for me as well? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments if you have any. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.